Hello, good afternoon to all of you wherever you may be located. This is Sagar from Ezone. So, our objective today in this live session is to try and see if the students who graduated and finished their high school in 2022 can still make it for the July intake for studies in Australia. So, basically, this is your journey to Australia, a small discussion session, I would say. You can ask me questions, you can ask me if you have anything to say, and I'll try my best to give the best possible answers and suggestions to you regarding your studies, regarding your study process, regarding the documentation required, and especially regarding if we have enough time. All right, so since we'll be posting this video again in the YouTube channel again, so we thought about doing this live session and seeing that we help as many students as possible to achieve their dreams of studying in Australia while also being mostly realistic in terms of the financial requirements that are in place for Australia right now. Because to be very honest, Australia is not that easy nowadays, and that's mainly because the government and the Australian High Commission is looking into the income verification document very, very carefully. They are checking that the taxes have been paid in terms of salaries. If we are going to show business incomes, they are also trying to make sure that the tax clearance certificates are available. And these are the kind of things we have to be very careful about. Otherwise, we might start our application and end up losing everything altogether. So this is why it's quite important for you guys to understand that Australian education system is welcoming, but at the same time, the documentary evidence, the documents required for processing, and everything else is of, I would say, very strict nature these days. So they are very specific about what kind of documents they need, and that's why we have to be very careful while preparing the documents, while we do the, what do you call it, GT assessment. And we also need to make sure that all the documents are well organized, because it's going to be a lot of files, lot of PDFs. So we have to make sure that everything is well compiled, well kept in place. And if that's the case, then the visa chances are still good. So what is the bottom line right now about studies in Australia is very simple. You have to make sure that your documents are well organized, well in place, and after that, there is a good chance that you will be able to get your visa. But if your documents are a little messed up, if your documents are not up to the standards of the High Commission, then things become a little more complicated. And it's better not to apply sometimes, because the results these days are quite predictable, very honestly. If we can sense if the applicant is going to get the visa or not, depending on the course selected, depending on the university selected, depending on, what do you call it, the income sources that we have shown, also depending on the education loan taken, the amount dispersed from the education loan. Everything matters. So this is why we would always recommend to consult properly first, check all the financial requirements, make sure you meet those requirements. And if there is something that you don't meet, then I would always recommend to make sure that either you update your documents as per the requirements of the High Commission, or in some cases just drop your application, because sometimes it's better not to apply to Australia if your documents are not up to the mark. So they have a very clear set of requirements these days, the Australian High Commission. And if we meet those requirements, it's good to go. If we don't, it's always good sometimes to stop. त्यही भएर आजको सेसन भनेको basically we are going to try and answer this question. I do this generally on TikTok and Facebook Live. So today we're trying YouTube Live as well, to see if some of the students would be interested on YouTube. So if you are interested, give me a thumbs up, give me a question. You can ask whatever you wish, and then we will start answering your questions so that you guys get the best possible advice and guidance regarding your study abroad process. Okay, so if I don't see many questions, if I don't see many people interested in the live stream, then we will switch back to TikTok and answer the questions, because TikTok, I barely can answer the questions. There's so many of them asking those questions. All right. So basically, what we are thinking of today is to answer questions regarding higher education and also regarding your visa chances, your study chances, July intake ko lagi bhyaincha ki bhyaindain, those kind of stuff are what we are focused on. So if there is something you would love to know, then definitely we are going to get you get your questions answered. All right, so KHR question, I can see a few participants joining in. So if there is any question that you would like to ask, please do, so that I can basically guide you on your questions and give you suggestions that could be beneficial for your visa application. Okay, I'm waiting for the students to come up with the answers. Okay, so YouTube community is pretty quiet then. That's surprising. All right, so if we don't have any questions, yes, then we will switch to TikTok and I'll see you there in a more lively manner. All right, take care.